And we are back, dear viewers, at this beautiful evening. We're joined by Maram Aldaihani, an occupational therapist here on Hala Kuwait. Good evening to you, Maram.
Good evening to you too.
It's a pleasure to be having you here on Hala Kuwait and to talk all about occupational therapy, especially for little children.
The pleasure all mine.
Yes, so we want to know, is learning on a screen good or bad for children?
So, if we want to compare, is it bad or good? So it will be like a gray area. So some of the parent and family are pro the online teaching, and the other half pro like traditional teaching. So if we want to judge upon the online teaching, is it bad or good? We cannot like judge for 100% on it, especially when we cannot see it for the whole, say the whole picture.
Right.
So if you remove the component of movement, if you remove the component of the human touch, a human interaction, it will be bad for the child. But the pure, let's say, bad thing or the major disadvantage of the online learning is the static posture that the child is expected to do for like multiple hours in a row. So that will create a future problem with the child, especially when he are forced to sit on the screen for like multiple hours with a very specific posture. That will create other problems with them.
All right, so Maram, you mentioned something about posture.
Yes.
And how does it really affect their posture while sitting down on the screen?
Now we can notice very clearly a lot of children, they have something called the tech neck. So the way they watch their screen, it will push them to make their shoulder more rounded and make the head more tilted downward. So because they will prefer this position to watch more, and it will give them like more, let's say, relaxed sense to watch more. So, but on the other hand, it will put more pressure on the neck. That will create like disc problem and other like pressure on the neck. Also, it will help to make the core muscle weaker. That core muscle help us usually to be more straight and give us the upright position. So, interesting fact, the human head is around 5 kilos. So if we just tilt the head 60 degrees, it will give like more pressure on the neck. It's around 27 kilo of a pressure. So that will be very hard on the child. So we need to make sure to sit or help him learn the proper way to sit out, the proper way to position the screen if you want to watch something.
All right, and does it really come as a health and safety issue for the children to help their posture actually sitting straight?
Yeah, it also will help them also to increase their attention during the online. If we, in this situation, for example, now the children are forced to be online because of the safety reason. Yes. So if we make like more very simple tweaks here and there, it will help the child to focus more. So by giving him the proper ergonomics, let's say, the proper way of sitting, not let the leg like dangling off the chair. We need to support the legs by helping the child like position the screen on the correct position or exactly on the level of the eye. It will help him to focus more, to give more relaxing sensation for the muscles.
All right, and for the eyes, I'm sure he's focusing on the screen.
Yeah.
How many meters do you say it's an arm length? He has to stay away from
usually it depending on the child also vision strength. So some children like they will suffer like they need like to have like more screen, let's say bigger screen to give them like more attention, especially younger. So if we make the screen smaller, the child automatically will lean forward to try to figure it. So I saw multiple parents, they use like their phones to help the child like enter or log into the portal of the teaching school or something like that. So the child will automatically lean forward just to see. So we need to be sure about the size of the screen, how this child like trying to watch, is he like giving all the input clearly.
All right, and Maram, what about the grip of the child? As you know, they are using the keyboard so much. Does it make it weaken?
Very important question. It's a very small thing, but it's very interesting that not all the parents like having a good grasp of this information. So normally the child is jumping around, they're moving, they're writing, they're copying and coloring. So this very small activity here and there, when they do it all over the day, it will help them to improve the intrinsic muscle, which is the muscle that's it's basically on the hand. Okay. So by overusing this muscle, it will help to strengthen the hand and even the way we manipulate things with our fingers. So by shifting all activity from like hand-on activity into finger tapping activity, it will weaken the muscle over time. And the child will lose the strength and even the grip strength for the basic activity of the day. So we always want to like educate the parent. Please let the child draw, let the child do anything with his finger just to protect this muscle from losing their strength.
All right. And why do usually children get tired during the online classes rather than in person?
It's very interesting. Another question. So for the child, when we say during the online, by focusing on the screen, they need to decode the question. They need decode, for example, the emotion, the tone, because some of them, they don't see the teacher face, they see the screen with the question, or for example, the pictures. So they need to understand what the teacher means. So usually on the traditional way, they're watching the teacher, they're watching the hand, the nonverbal nonverbal gesture of the teacher. So it will help them to understand quicker. But moving to the fully online, and I don't see the teacher, I just hear in the teacher's voice and, for example, what she's saying. So that child will like spend more energy to decode this information. That will put like more pressure on him and will consume his energy more and more.
All right. And you know, Maram Aldaihani, the social skills for the children, as you mentioned, they only see no screen or no teacher online.
Exactly, yeah.
What about their friends? They're used to seeing them in real life, and now they just meet up in a classroom online.
I heard a lot of complaint from the children from the last few weeks. They're complaining, we're missing our friend, we want to interact with them more. So basically, it's have a direct interaction with the child. So by completely removing the social interaction, it will reflect on the child ability. So for example, some of the things they lose, it's the eye contact, the physical touch, sharing the physical toys also. So one of the important things that I'm usually encouraging the child, encouraging the parent to focus on during the day. So focus on how the child regulate himself. So one of the techniques is co-regulating. So when the child tries to control his emotion, not to express like mad, not to express anger, or for example, cry suddenly. So by seeing his friend on the same environment, he will try to contain or to be calm during this emotion. So by existing on traditional setting of learning, it helps the child regulate his emotion. By switching to online, he's losing this skill or this opportunity to practice the skill.
All right. And Maram, what do you advise kids usually learning online to do exercises in between lessons?
I advise all my clients, especially younger, just to move during the break between the classes. So if they have like 5-minute, 2-minute break, please remove them out of this chair. Let them do a lot of like movement. So jumping, walking around, pushing the wall is one of the very important exercise. So they can push the wall with their hand, or for example, they do a chair push-up. So they put their hand on the armrest and try to lift their body off the chair. That will help them to regulate the body energy, for example, and also it gives them like more muscle strength. So also it will like reset the system for them. Or one of the interesting exercise we do, we ask them to do the airplane exercise. So spread your their arms right and left and try to stand in one leg. For them it will be more funny because they want to keep their self-balance, and also it will help them to stretch all the muscle that they use it on the opposite. So usually we watch them, they like keep their shoulder rounded and their head a little bit tilted. So when they ask them to do the airplane stretch, so they will expand their shoulder backward and also their arm, and standing in one leg, it will give more pressure on the muscle and give them like more fun exercise to do.
All right, some really beautiful advice there, Maram, for us really and our dear viewers, I'm sure. But dear viewers, we shall take this next report coming up next, and we'll be back to ask Maram Aldaihani more questions, so stay tuned. And we are back, dear viewers, this beautiful evening with Maram Aldaihani, an occupational therapist here on Hala Kuwait. It's really a pleasure to be talking to you, Maram.
Thank you so much.
And we want to know more about the children studying online.
Yeah.
Does it really make it hard for them using a laptop to actually write in real life?
Yes, it have major connection with that, because when they try to like finger tap on the keyboard, for example, on the laptop or computer, so for them trying to use only like one movement, for example, only the finger movement, on the other hand, when they try to write with a pencil, or for example use other things to write, it will help them like to make more neural connection. That will help them like to make the information stronger and make the information comes easier to your mind. So sometimes some children, they face a little bit of difficulty comparing with when they use like a tablet, so it's like an electronic keyboard, and then they need to have like the actual physical keyboard.
Yes.
So for them, this kind of shifting, it will create a simple confusion for them. So we always try to just teach them how to write with pencil. It will help to improve their muscle, keep it like on a good health and a good muscle mass. And teaching them on the keyboard, it will help them, but if you want to keep the information stronger in their brain, use the old traditional way, because it will use multiple neurotransmitter of multiple neural tracks to help to make this information in their brain stronger.
All right. And Maram, what about technology burnout? How can we notice our child, for example,
very
getting
common
burnt?
now. We can see it especially during this period of time. So if you see the child usually like irritated, he's always angry, he's always moody, we know now he have like multiple, let's say, he's burning out of this use of technology. One other thing is when we see the child is becoming more moody, so he's not on the good mood like to learn, he's avoiding a lot of like active activities. Now it's very like, this is very like a big red flag. If we notice, we need just to enter multiple activities for this child to improve his, for example, self-esteem and also his energy level. Because if you keep him like that, he will like go worse and worse.
All right. And why is movement so important for the child, for his brain?
It's very crucial. As a human, we learn by taking feedback from our environment. So by taking the feedback when I climb something, when I like do writing, and any kind of activity that requires physical, let's say, physical effort from me, it will help me to get a sensation from my environment. Sometimes this sensation will help me to calm down. Sometimes the sensation help me to make the information stronger in my mind. As we mentioned before, so I can learn one thing or learn any task by doing like once. But if I combine like two sensations or two skills, or for example, two sense from me doing this task, it will help me to save it in two different places on the brain. So movement is very crucial for the child to learn and also to memorize things.
All right. So also, can our children really share and play at the same time through a screen?
They can, but still we need to be careful when we use it. So we need to choose the appropriate portal they want to use, and also which type of game they are like eligible to play with. So not all children are the same age and the same level of skills.
Yes.
So we need to be very crucial, very like critique when we choose which kind of activity they can use and share. Technology come up very advanced, so they can utilize it in a lot of different purposes, but still we need to choose it according to the child's skill, developmental skill, and his age, just that to give him a good opportunity to learn and share.
All right, interesting. And we want to know, when's a really good time for the children to take a brain break?
To be honest, we need to be sure about every child like individually. So every child is unique by the way he can tolerate things, by the way how he can tolerate like technology and like effort. So based on that, we need to give them a break from the technology. We need to give them a break to give them like more active exercise, just to refresh their body and give them a break from watching the screen for a longer time. So we need to make sure that we don't injure their eyes, because when we watch something on screen, we usually blink less, around I think 60% less than normal. So with time, your eye will be much drier than usual, and also it will create a lot of pressure on the body because we need to be fixed all the time. So movement is key, balancing this movement is also key, and make sure we watch our children from one time to another, just to make sure they don't like get irritated or, for example, burn out.
All right, yes, beautiful advice there, Maram.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, I'm sure you're all benefiting from Aldaihani's advice
Thank
for your
you.
beautiful children. And we know our children these days are lacking the physical activity. Usually
Yes.
they play at the playground.
Exactly.
How can it affect their growth?
It will have a major impact on their growth because we learn from experience. So if they're not like exposed on a daily basis, for example, now if like weekly basis, they're not getting enough experience, they're not getting enough opportunity to implement what they learned from the previous times. So here it will create like a gap from their age skills and developmental age they reach. So trying to give the child a lot of multiple opportunities during the week, physical activity, it will help them to strengthen the body, to strengthen even the bones, because we need a lot of like exercise just to help our body to consume the energy.
All right, so do you advise some parents to actually input some gym equipment at home, maybe near the study area?
Even like stick to the old traditional Kuwaiti game, it's more than enough.
All
That
right.
will be very crucial for them, and it will help them to develop more and more.
All right, and we want to hear more advice from you for our dear parents watching us today.
So for me, I'm always with the traditional Kuwaiti games because it will help to develop the child's cognitive skill and balance and a lot of movement. So I think from my generation, they think the old traditional Kuwaiti game, maybe it's not like that, like let's say a professional game that will help the child develop. But based on my experience analyzing this kind of games, it helps a lot the child to keep their body utilized, for example, regulated, their energy like consumed in a very good energy level. And also the child become more alert to the social cue around him, how to follow the instruction, and so on. So try to invest good time with your child. It will help the child to develop. It's not all about the equipment you buy, it's not about the tools you buy, it's only about how much time, a quality time you can spend, and with this kind of quality time, how it can reflect on the child's skills.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Beautiful advice there, Maram Aldaihani. For us, really, and our children and our dear viewers' children, we'd love to thank you so much for joining us here in Hala Kuwait. Maybe we'll see you next time with some more advice, inshallah. Thank you so much. So, dear viewers, let's all thank the coming of Maram Aldaihani, an occupational therapist here in our beautiful state of Kuwait. And therefore, dear viewers, we shall take a look at this next report. So stay tuned.